Former President Donald Trump heads to the Fulton County Jail, where he will be booked and receive a mugshot related to those charges from the 2020 election. Giving you a live look here overhead from the freeway as we have this aerial view as he heads there. And right before the break, he was about 15 minutes out or so from arriving at the jail, so he should be getting there pretty soon here. We also have another shot as well. As you can see, our crews have cameras on the ground following behind as we watch all of this happen here in real time. So we're going to continue to bring you this coverage as it's happening live, raw, and unfiltered here on Live Now from Fox. In the meantime, though, we want to bring in friend of the program, legal analyst Andrew Lieb, who's joining us here. Andrew, thanks so much. It's great to see you as always as we talk about all of these pressing questions. Let's first just begin with what today means, the significance of a former president now in his fourth indictment that he's facing, heading to the Fulton County Jail to receive a mugshot to get booked. Just the significance of this day.
Surreal. That's the word, Lexi. It's just purely surreal. And what's surreal is watching this motorcade and watching him make his way 15 minutes away. And yeah, you did say it's the fourth time, which is already numbing to me. The first time when we saw it in New York, mind blown. By the second and third times, Florida and DC, it was normative at this point. But why is it surreal today? Because Donald Trump's not getting booked in the courthouse. He's not getting special privileges where he doesn't get a mugshot. There's going to be a mugshot. There's going to be hide and wait. And guess what? He's going to a jail today. Can you just close your eyes and picture Donald Trump with his golden toilets in a jailhouse? It's mind-blowing. It's awe-instructing. And if he doesn't understand the gravity of the situation after today, I don't know that anything will make it real for him. But right now, this is a major ordeal. And I have to tell you, Lexi, what a shame that this is part of the history of the United States. I can't believe it's happening in my lifetime, Lexi.
Yeah, it is surreal to watch all of this happening. And of course, this is now the fourth indictment here. And in his previous court appearances, when this has all happened, he hadn't had to take a mugshot before or go through this process. So maybe explain to viewers why this time around we're seeing some differences.
Well, let's start off why the other three were different. And the other three were different because of special privileges. Meaning that if you or I were to go into New York County Court and we were going to go commit a crime that we were going to see something along the lines of New York City, just think about that for a second, Alvin Bragg, the DA, we would be getting mugshots. We would be treated like the felons that he's being charged with. That would happen if the feds came after us. I can't fathom a worse day than the feds coming after us. But Donald Trump has been getting privileges, and maybe they're just and maybe they're right because he is a former president and he is a leading contender for office. But in Georgia, the Georgia sheriff said he's not giving him any special privileges, and he's going to treat him just like everyone else. We saw Mark Meadows, his chief of staff, just try and get out of getting arrested. Meadows got arrested. It happened for Meadows. It happened for Giuliani. It happened for Ellis. She's the only one that I saw smiling in the pictures so far of all of them. We'll see if Trump smiles too. Maybe he has pearly whites. But at the end of the day, this is the normative way. I think that's really the key. What's happening in Georgia is what should happen to everyone. Everywhere else, Trump got a special privilege. So this isn't the weird one. The other three times were the weird ones, Lexi.
Yeah, and Andrew, let's put up an image here of who has so far surrendered in this. You can take a look here, of course, among them, as you mentioned, Mark Meadows, as well as Rudy Giuliani, along with some others here. And this comes the day before the deadline. Tomorrow at noon was the deadline for Trump and the 18 co-defendants in this to surrender to the Fulton County Jail. And then, of course, once Trump does arrive and have his mugshot taken, he'll be added to this list as well. When you look at the 18 co-defendants that are also listed in this, number one, are you surprised by how many co-defendants there are? And obviously, just considering this was such a lengthy investigation, years long, are you surprised by the number of co-defendants who are also included in this?
I I think I'm more surprised about the 30 unindicted co-conspirators and to see who they're going to be. We have 19 now that are indicted, 19 people after a 2.5-year investigation. But you have to be sitting there if you were part of this or involved in this and wonder if you're one of those 30 people, if you could be indicted too. There's nothing that stops an unindicted co-conspirator from eventually being indicted. It's a major ordeal. I want to cherry pick 2 of the people, though, that are interesting. Chesebro. We heard about that in your package before with our Fox News reporters. And what they were explaining, and it's so right, Chesebro just asked for a speedy trial, which spurred Trump's new attorney, this Steve Sato, to do a severance. We'll see if we're going to see these cases go together. The second one of interest. On Monday, mark your calendars. Mark Meadows has a hearing scheduled where we might see Raffensperger, the Secretary of State from Georgia. They're telling he might be subpoenaed to this. And Mark Meadows is trying to say this should be a federal case because he was doing what he was supposed to do when he was as a chief of staff for Trump. That's another interesting one. So to answer your question, it's not just the 30 that aren't indicted. It's not just the 18 others that are indicted. It's the chaos that all 49 put together in the judicial system, which will always keep drama unfolding, Lexi.
Yeah, and Andrew, you can see all these different images, too, that we're continuing to bring in here as he is getting closer to arriving there at the Fulton County Jail. Andrew, we are going to check in with you a little bit later here. We are going to right now put up a couple shots from outside of the Fulton County Jail as we wait for him to arrive. Andrew, we're going to touch base with you just very soon here as we leave this shot up for viewers. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for that first bit of analysis, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit here.
Thank you.
All right, you're taking a live look overhead here as we've been following the motorcade as it makes its way to the Fulton County Jail. It looks like they might just be arriving there. We want to go out right now to Fox's Caroline Elliott, who is there at the Fulton County Jail. Caroline, thanks so much for joining us here. Tell us a little bit more about what you've been seeing. It does look like the former president has just arrived.
Well, Lexi, from our vantage point, we can't tell if he's arrived yet. We do know that security has this entire street on lockdown right now, waiting for the former president's arrival. But really, that's what we're expecting in the next couple minutes. And if you guys could hear supporters and protesters chanting behind us, "We love Trump. We want Trump." Again, they're waiting for Trump to get here. You do see a lot of protesters here just waiting for the former president to get here, just wanting to show support for the former president after the 4th indictment here. Now, again, once the motorcade does arrive, Trump will see this large group of protesters and supporters. And what we're hearing from protesters right now is that they believe this indictment is politically motivated. They believe this is all part of a greater attack against the GOP frontrunners. But we're also seeing some supporters backing the Fulton County District Attorney's decision to charge Trump and all 18 accused co-conspirators in this case. Now, it's still unclear exactly how the jail will handle Trump's book booking process later on. We know up until this point in Miami and D.C. and in New York, Trump has avoided a mugshot, but sources tell us that tonight this could be the former president's first mugshot. We do know that the sheriff did say that was the plan, but we'll just have to see later on what exactly Trump's Secret Service protection allows. We do expect Trump will be released rather quickly on a $200,000 bond, and we're also hearing that we might hear from the former president after his surrender. Lexi?
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking for that, Caroline. And obviously, he's not the only person who is surrendering right now. Other people that are included in this, his co-defendants, some of them have already turned themselves in. So who else so far have we seen surrender there in Fulton County?
Yeah, as of right now, at least 11 accused co-conspirators have turned themselves in, most notably Rudy Giuliani yesterday, and just this afternoon, Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, also surrendered here. So again, right now, there are still several co-defendants that will have to surrender before noon tomorrow, but certainly picking up here at the jail. Lexi.
All right, Fox's Caroline Elliott live there in Fulton County. Caroline, thanks so much. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you.
All right, so giving you several different live looks here as we continue to follow this, as it does appear that he has arrived at the jail. A couple of different angles that we're working with right now. It's a little bit difficult to see exactly which entrance he went through, where he's at right now, but we did see the motorcade go that way, and we have several different angles that we are watching right now. So you can see, as Caroline said, as Tyler said, as Randy said, as we've been following this, a lot of different people who have gathered here, mostly supporters of the former president from what we've heard so far, but of course some protesters as well, a mix of people who are gathered there along the road as he just arrived at the Fulton County Jail.